Good morning. I've just been given a Christmas tree by Robin. It's quite sweet really, isn't it? Today's plans have changed slightly. My grandma is poorly again. I had a text from my mum at 6 o'clock this morning, which is unheard of. I gave her a ring and they've basically been waiting since 8 o'clock last night for an ambulance. She's really not very well at all. A bit of real life for you. Up you get. Yeah, so we'll still take Lara her Christmas tree with her godmother. So we're still going down to Essex. I'm just not really sure what's happening for the day. I'm hoping that Robin will distract my mum a bit and cheer her up. Because obviously it's a very unsettling time. Hello. You're saying hello to your adoring fans again. You just don't stop moving, do you? You're such a busy boy. Standing up. Oh, go on then. Go on then. Up you get. I saw. Go on then. Oh, nearly. We've been doing standing practice, everyone. We've been learning how to stand on our own without holding on to anything. We are very, very proud of ourselves. What have you got? We're now at Auntie's house, deconstructing her tree. Oh, Christmas tree, your ornaments are history. Hello, I'm home. It's 10 to 9 in the evening. I've just walked through the door. I did bedtime for Robin at my grandma's. Yeah, grandma's doing better than she was, which is a real relief. I didn't see Lindsay because obviously she'd been up all night with grandma. So I'd gone home to have a sleep when I arrived in the morning. And so I stayed almost until she was able to come back. I left about 15 minutes before she arrived, I think, because Robin was just desperate for bed by that point. It was just gone 7, which really is his bedtime. So yeah, forgive me, there's no vlogging really today. I think I've maybe got 3 minutes of footage. So what we're going to do instead is use that pre-recorded piece that I did on English paper piecing. And it's fairly festive, which is lovely. Oh, I'll tell you what I did do that's really nice, and I'll put a picture of it here. My uncle wears hand-knit socks that my grandma makes him, but I noticed that on the top left foot he actually had a hole. So I said to him, are you here for a few more minutes? And he's like, yeah. So, well, why don't I have a go at darning those for you? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I said it with all this authority, like I knew what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. But he'd actually only broken like one strand of yarn. It dropped 2 stitches and dropped back several. So I used a mixture of duplicate stitch and knitting. Weirdly enough, I was able to actually knit some of the dropped stitches. So I kind of duplicate stitched a little bit up to where the hole was, then knit the dropped loops. So they were proper knit stitches again, and then duplicate stitched the other side, and I did it coming back again. It was a bit fiddly, and it's not the neatest of finishes. I think my grandma has a different gauge to me and probably different size needles, but my uncle was thrilled to have them back, and he said he couldn't feel it at all because I was a bit worried it's a bit lumpy. So I'll put a picture up, or I have put a picture up, and hopefully you think that was cool, because I did. I was really proud of myself. I used the grey from the Robin socks that I'm making for so he's going to have a bit of an odd stripe in the middle of his, but I'm sure he won't mind. He probably won't even notice, to be honest. But yeah, it felt really good, especially with grandma having been so ill, to be able to like give a second lease of life to the socks that my uncle has. Meant a lot, actually. I was really pleased that he trusted me to do it and that I was able to do it, because you're so helpless in these situations. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to hand over to a slightly less dishevelled and exhausted looking Gemma from a few days ago to show you some English paper piecing. So I hope you enjoy that, and I will see you tomorrow. So in this box I am keeping lots of squares that I've pre-cut of snowman themed fabric. So you can see they've got lots of lovely different designs on. So we've got squares and we've got triangles in different colours. So what's going to happen is you're going to have hexes sewn together. I haven't actually picked the most sensible pattern to go with, but So it's quite needlessly complicated, really. I think it's like that. And so the hexes are going to be pieced together like so, and then you've got the green and the pink and the blue dotty triangles in between to create your main blanket. So English paper piecing starts off by, say, you cut your rough squares. You obviously know the rough dimensions of your hexagons that they're going to be if you're using hexagons, whatever shape it is that you're going to use. I'm just looking to see in here if I've got the template. I should have the triangle template somewhere. Oh, here we go. So we use this one to make the triangle. So this is a quilting block. I borrowed it from my friend Jackie, bless her, who's now put up with me having it for over a year. So I guess part one of the tutorial is going to be, because I can't sew them together obviously because I don't have the triangles, it's going to be what you do initially. So you take some just ordinary cotton thread, sharp needle, and you take your square of fabric and place your hexie. Try and only take one at a time. Place your hexagon in it, and then you fold over, keeping quite tight, and we're just going to basically tack it with a running stitch. So pull that through. Doesn't need to be very neat, doesn't need to be right near to the edge. My first few were very, very neat indeed, and took quite a while, but we're just going to baste along here to hold it in place, because this actually gets removed afterwards. So we join. I could just do hexes and forgo the triangles, but my friends Jackie and Helen have promised me they'll murder me if I do that, because they spent ages cutting out the triangle shapes for me. My friend Jackie's an amazing sewist and baker, and all-round lovely human, and she has taught me how to do this. I first came across English paper piecing when my friend Anne was doing it. We were at a Wednesday knitting group, and she always has these little tiny hexagons with her that she's sewing. She's putting the papers into the shapes, and gradually over the years I've seen her start to piece it together. So I mean, it's not a fast project, English paper piecing. This being just a baby quilt, in theory should be fairly quick. You might have seen something similar if you're watching the So Sweet Samuel vlogmas, or if you're watching SCR1TNO, the knitting project, because both of those ladies, Lindsay and Sharon, are using Jules' So Sweet Violet's English paper piecing hot water bottle cover tutorial and kit. My Aunt Lindsay's made a few already, and I know Sharon is at least working on her first one. So as you can see, I'm just doing it fairly roughly as I go round. Not a bit worrying about being too neat. My stitches are quite large, and I'm just folding as I get to the corners and making sure that I've tacked that corner down as well. This does give me really bad neck ache actually, recording sat like this on the floor with my arms stretched around a tripod. I'm going to have to find my other camera stand when I go back to work tomorrow. It's Saturday the 3rd of December, and at the moment I am sadly missing out on Elderflower Stitch's trunk show, because I have got my first negative COVID test. I tested positive last Sunday night, and I'm now negative, but because it was only my first one and I've been quite poorly, I thought I would be better off skipping work today and being sensible. I don't want to put anyone at risk either, just because the test says it's the first day of being negative. I think I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I'm teaching all day tomorrow. I've got a really long day at work tomorrow. I'm teaching a sock structure course, so I'll take you along for that and for the Elderflower Stitches trunk show. Julia is, who's been on my podcast before, is taking some vlog footage of the trunk show for me today. So hopefully on day 3's Vlogmas, you might get a little bit of that as well. We'll see. We're definitely upping the festive ante. I haven't really talked to you guys about what to expect on Vlogmas yet, so maybe when I go back to recording day 3, I'll talk a little bit about that. But there you go, that's it. It's as simple as that, and there is a hexagon done. So I'm going to try and do a few more. I'm going to try and do 5 a day. Yeah, I'll try and do 5 more today, and then I will sit and knit for a bit until the husband gets home. So I might just change the camera angle to record this because it's bordering on painful while I watch Vlogmases.
I did them all the same style, like the granny square. And then,
Okay, so glare again. So that whole thing, those so explaining English paper piecing and doing the 6 hexagons in total, because I can't count. I did 1 for demonstration and then I did 5 more. Has only taken me half an hour. So I'm thinking, why have I not finished this already? You may have seen partway through that I've got a little helper who is not being particularly helpful at the moment. This is Archie, who apparently is going to have a starring role on Vlogmas this year. I think the other year when I was doing it, I was winding skeins on my reskeiner, and Archie was sat on my lap then as well. So apparently if I'm sat on the floor, I'm here for him. So yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial, and when I have got all my hexes and triangles done, or at least some of them, and I'm ready to start piecing it together, I will record another little tutorial to go onto this Vlogmas as well. But I've got a nice big stack of hexagons all ready to be put together in this quilt. Part of me is thinking, wouldn't it be easier just to do a tiny quilt just using the hexagons, but as I said before, my friends did cut out the triangles and I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, so there we are. There's my stack of hexagons. I hope you enjoyed that. I am going to make the most of what little time I have left with my husband being out, and I'm going to sit and work on Robin's mittens. I was going to get up and get a coffee, but I don't think I am, because as you can see, this little one is pretty well settled. So I will catch you another time.